Teenage pregnancies in Kenya. Hi guys, welcome back to Diversity with Diana podcast series, where we discuss matters regarding social issues and specifically diversity and inclusion. I like also to discuss matters that actually affect the society. And in Kenya, we have had very interesting statistics, and interesting in not a very nice manner, but in a very worrisome trend, where we've had increases in the teenage pregnancies. Teenage pregnancies in Kenya. Teen pregnancies. Have you heard the news, guys? Have you looked at the data from the Ministry of Health in Kenya? I mean, looking at adolescents from the age of 10 to 14 and from the ages of 15 to 19, from January to June in Bungoma County alone, for instance, we had 5,577 cases. I mean, this is almost ridiculous. It is so ridiculous that we failed even to imagine or to accept the news that Machakos County had how many cases? 4,000 cases? 4,000 cases from January during this corona period. Is it really corona that is a problem in the society right now? And who is to blame? So when I had a tweet chat on the 22nd of June, and I spoke with the county chief officer for gender and culture from Bungoma County, which is the county I'm from. So it was my interest. It was an interest for me to be engaged in what is happening in the county. And we looked at that data and even had a point where we were being informed that on the 19th of June, a 14-year-old girl delivered a set of triplets to a 13-year-old father. Those are 5 children. 5 children. The father is 13, the mother is 14, and they now have triplets. And we're like, what is wrong with society? Where have we gone wrong? Where have we gone wrong as a people, as a country, as schools, as churches, where we cannot talk to our youth, to our teenagers, to educate them about sex education? Research in other countries has shown that when properly educated about sex and given the option of having access to safe sex methods, contraception, protection, that this has actually helped to change the growing data. A study conducted in 2006 found that teens exposed to the most sexual content on TV are twice as likely as teens watching less of this material to become pregnant before they reach the age of 20. Studies have also found that boys raised in homes with a battered mother or who have experienced physical violence directly were significantly more likely to impregnate a girl. So now, these studies have actually shown that boys raised in homes with a battered mother, and that's where I say there's a linkage to these things. When I advocate for gender diversity, when I advocate for diversity and inclusion, it's to say that sometimes in people's households, in where they come from, in their homes, they don't see the integration that we see in society. So when you are having a child, maybe in a school setup, who comes from a child where there's gender-based violence at home, then they're more likely to impregnate a girl. And if you somehow start reversing that whole psychology and the mentality that they have through education, through activities together with the other gender, where they learn to respect each other, to care for each other, and this is just from the young age. So when I do my advocacy, my target audience is not only the big corporations. My target audience is not only you guys that are watching this that have a similar interest like me. And this also causes part of the reasons why the data is so high. So what are the solutions? Let's now think solutions, and willing to hear more solutions from you. Providing age-appropriate comprehensive sex education for adolescents, investing in the girls' educations, and preventing child marriage, sexual violence and coercion by building gender equitable societies by empowering the girls. So we have to empower the girls. We have to ensure, fight for girls' education, preventing child marriages. That's it. That's the one I was looking for. And ending sexual violence and coercion, because these are young children, these are young people, young girls. The other recommendation is engaging men and boys, thus ensuring adolescents access to sexual and reproductive health, as well as services that welcome them to facilitate their choices. So this means that both men and boys are engaged in this conversation, in this sex education, so that they understand to respect the young women and girls. Because when we're looking at the data of 5,577 cases, these are teenagers between the age of 10 to 14 plus 15 to 20. So yes, someone is over the age of sexual consent, which is 18 in Kenya, but they're still young and they're still developing. Open dialogue. The healthcare systems guarantees, by having a healthcare system that guarantees confidentiality and a non-judgmental approach. So we're advocating for having an open dialogue, a society, a system, a healthcare system that guarantees not only confidentiality, but also non-judgmental approach. That is the only way we will have to start having discussions with the teenagers. That is the reality of where we live. We cannot suddenly wake up one day and say, abstain, abstain, abstain. If they haven't been doing it from the beginning, then it is best that we walk with them through this journey of self-discovery and I'm not being radical about this, by ensuring that they have the right information, that they make the right choices, and that let them have and have that feeling of, I have the choice, I choose to be responsible, I choose to abstain, I choose to wait. But if not, then give them access to the services and the facilities that they require. The Dutch approach to preventing teenage pregnancies was in such a manner that the curriculum focused on the values, attitudes, communication, and negotiation skills, as well as the biological aspects of reproduction, which was seen as a model. So when you talk to the teenagers on the biological aspect of reproduction, probably when they see the changes that will happen to their bodies, the strain they put in their bodies, and reminding them that they're still young, they're still developing, maybe their reproductive system has not yet fully developed. When you show me, when I hear a story on the 19th of June, that a 14-year-old has become a mother to a 13-year-old boy, come on. There was need to have had education, to have stopped that coercion, to have stopped that wrongful decision that was taken by these young teenagers, to stop the trend. And walking on eggshells on this matter and being in denial is not going to help anybody. Come on, guys, let's speak up. Let us have discussion. Let us have dialogue with these kids. Let's not have them in settings where we expect them to be perfect and they fear to speak their minds. Perhaps when we have open dialogue with the intention of understanding why they make certain choices, we may be able to reverse these trends. If we can end abuse, better our healthcare services and facilities, empower the young people to speak to us and be more open, we may be able to prevent and stop the cycle of teenage pregnancies in Kenya. It does affect lives. It doesn't have a good outcome. Personally, I'm saddened with the case to see that young girls are going to have their lives disrupted by this. The disruption happens mostly to the girls. So that is why we wish to advocate for ending teenage pregnancies in Kenya, and especially during this COVID period where most people are vulnerable due to the economic changes in the household. So guys, subscribe to the channel. Today there are no more smiles. There are no more advocacies. It's like it's sad what we're dealing with right now. So be the advocate, be the neighbor, be the good parent, be the good neighbor, be the good sibling, be the good neighbor. I think I need to say neighbor 20,000 times, because I think it's our collective responsibility as a society to see these trends increasing. The church has to be called to action. The non-governmental organization, the civil society has to be called to action. Private sector has to be called to action. Everybody, we all must be called to action on this matter. So let's stop the teenage pregnancies increment in Kenya. Let us end this trend. Let us be compassionate about it. Let us talk to our youth. Let us talk to our teenagers, and let us understand where we can meet them at the point of need. So thank you guys for listening.